You're listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum, recorded from a secret location in the city that moves mountains.
Greetings.
Salutations.
Come on, man.
We come in peace.
You have to say it right.
Okay.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
Greetings.
We come in peace.
That's better.
Okay.
We are joined in the bunker today by the one and only Elliott from Elliott's Articles.
Welcome aboard, Elliott.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Elliott from Elliott's Articles.
Well,
He
thank
just
you
does
very
that
much.
so smooth.
Yes, he
It's
does.
it's awesome to see it in person.
Yeah, it
I have no life outside of this. This is all I can do.
makes me feel not professional doing this now after seeing him working.
Well, like I said before, I am a damn hick. I don't know why you people let me talk. And then he's over here like,
Have you all heard my voice? I've heard my voice. I understand why people turn it off during my section shouldn't be called Elliott's Articles. It should be I need to go use the bathroom, and this is the perfect time to do it.
That's what Cronkite. Hey, that's a good name for your Cronkite's Chronicles.
Carticles.
Carticles on the midweek show.
What is it?
The Cronkite. I need to go use the bathroom segment.
Why?
So that way people can go use the bathroom and let it play.
Why don't you just say now's a good time to go to the bathroom?
He does. It says up next Elliott's Articles. That's what it means.
We also have Ned join us in the studio
Yellow.
for our first ever roundtable. Now, before we go any further, things at the cookie factory this week was...
Why are you staring at me?
Well, because I told
There's
you earlier
two
in the
other
week that
people
I was
in
gonna
this
pick on
room.
you.
Yeah, but none of us are working out like you.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody brown-nosed this week and got moved to a different shift at the cookie factory. So I do now get to see you and work with you some.
Some, yes.
And I am going to keep you out of the oven.
Okay.
You see that chiseledness.
Huh?
The chiseledness. The chiseled chin.
I told you, man, they were taken away by your bod. Rick Rude, circa 1988.
I like the way you say that. That makes me happy.
Nothing else?
Nope.
Do you like your new schedule at the cookie factory?
Meh.
Really?
It's all right.
He's never happy.
Really?
Never.
I'm a very negative person.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so how did you finagle that?
I really don't know how that happened.
Okay.
I really don't know.
We're glad to have you on that shift.
Well, I'm happy to be there.
I heard that Crazy Amy requested you not be on her shift. That's why they moved you.
That's possible.
Okay.
Crazy Amy and I got into it.
Over what?
She tried to get me to pet her hairless cat. I wasn't sure what that meant, so.
Well, moving right along.
I think she has a. I think she
Someone
has a
send help.
I think she had a hypoallergenic cat. I think that's what she meant.
We're going to do things a little bit differently this week on the show. Like I said, this is our roundtable.
Ned goes, "Good Lord."
Yeah.
I went back to you walking in the door with your bag of donuts. Your cheesecake, strawberry cheesecake donuts in a bag. Duffel bag.
They're delicious.
How many of those have you ate?
I've had it's protein. I've had 2.
Protein.
Ned, how
I'm
many?
going to walk on the treadmill later.
Ned, how many have you had?
I tried one. They're pretty
You had
fantastic.
5.
I did not.
Last night, you had 5.
They're 4. And they're the size of a quarter, guys. Just let you know.
I thought that the bag looked almost empty when you brought them in this morning.
Yeah, because Ned ate about 30 of them.
So you're just bringing your leftovers in for me and Elliott.
I'm pretty
Essentially.
sure he said yesterday.
Hi guys, I had these left over. Do you want some of these?
I can't wait to go home and get in bed and just
Just eat donuts.
I think that's exactly what he said.
That is what I do in my spare time. I just go home and just.
Well, that actually does sound like something you would do.
It's a fact.
So, but going back, this is our roundtable show. We're going to try to do these every 3 months or so. We're going to be doing things a little bit differently. Format will be differently. No questions. No listener email or listener text this week. No news. And we did have. Did you get that email?
I did.
The guy about the news. He's like, no more news.
Well, I mean, there's just so much news about UFOs we can do, to be honest with you, or Bigfoots or things like that. It's just not a.
Is it Bigfoots or Big Feet?
It's
I think it's Big Feet.
Well, it depends on where you're at.
Bigfoots.
Bigfoots?
Some places it's called Walmart. Some places it's called Walmarts. So
Getty and the Ozark Trail, right? That's the difference.
But we're going to start out with some question of the week responses. We're not going to have a question of the week this week. Not going to have an Elliott's article.
Oh, man, why not?
We won't be having it next week because we're doing our roundtable.
Yeah, but when am I going to go to the bathroom if Elliott's articles is
Hey, that's right. That's right.
I won't be able to do that.
Don't worry, I'll talk and you can get up and go. Everybody will be asleep, so no one will even hear you.
Our question of the week last week was, what is one conspiracy theory that you do not believe? You want to start out, Elliott, with reading this one?
One of our listeners, George, says that even one of them is true. He doesn't believe that even one of them is true. I mean, I guess, but why are you listening, George? What kind of joy are you getting out of the show here, buddy?
He's just a negative person, just like Cronkite.
I'm just saying.
Go ahead, Cronkite.
Cora says definitely got to agree with Flat Earth. So I don't know if she's agreeing that Flat Earth is BS or if she's agreeing that Flat Earth is Flat Earth.
But Flat Earth.
Yeah, Flat Earth.
What's your take on Flat
He
Earth?
thinks it's
It's
flat.
stupid.
Why?
If you believe that the Earth is flat, stop. It's not flat.
What is a pancake?
It's a disc.
A pancake is.
I don't know. What does this have anything to do with the flat Earth?
I don't know, but I've never got up when I was younger and my mom's like, "What do you want for breakfast?" I want a disc.
Well, I'm not saying.
I never asked for a disc.
You just asked what a pancake was. What should have been the correct answer?
A flitter cake.
I,
You've never heard people call them, the old timers in our area call them flitter cakes.
no.
Elliott, have you heard that?
Yep. And I've heard other stuff called that as well.
Flitter cake.
Let's see. Einstein says.
By the way, if you didn't hear, Goose had a new voice this week. Did you hear it?
What was that?
Your impression of me.
I have all kinds of voices, buddy.
I thought that was Doodle again.
It's Doodle and that's Doodle and that's anybody.
Let's see. No, do you want me to do Forrest Gump?
No, because it's going to be, hey, I'm Forrest Gump. I'm Forrest, I like Jenny.
I have all kinds of voices. Your name Forrest Gump. Einstein writes, man-made global warming or climate change.
Oh, so they think that that's not man-made.
Man-made global warming or climate. He does not believe global warming or climate change.
I see. Okay.
Saving the best for last, Ned. What's your first one?
From Mark, he says that Biden and Harris won the election fair and square.
Wow.
Well, yeah. Let's see. Elliott, go ahead.
Bobby says that we did not land on the moon. Oh, okay. So, good job, Bob.
So Bobby does not think we landed on the moon.
Email Cronkite there. You guys can talk about it.
I mean-
Bobby also probably thinks that the Earth is flat.
He does sound like one of those people. I'm not going to throw you under the bus, Bobby. Keep listening, especially to Elliott's article. Yeah, it sounds right.
David says Democrats eat children and drink their blood. I wouldn't know how to prepare them anyway.
Oh, so he's a Democrat.
He certainly is.
Oh, there you go.
There's we're not going to talk politics.
There's a lot of political crap on this one today.
Yeah. Let's see. Witch Hunt says critical race theory. Now I have no clue what that is. Are you familiar with that?
No.
The critical race theory. I'll have to
Look
check into that.
Look that one up.
So, Ned.
Mayhem says it's moving towards what Chan Thomas described in his book in 1965, The Adam and Eve Story, The History of the
Cataclysmic.
Cataclysm?
Yeah.
Cataclysm.
Cataclysmic.
that word in 1965. TN4.
You have another one? Elliott?
I do, yeah.
I
I'm
was
still
gonna-
trying to figure that one out.
Wait a minute.
Kevin says that the CPAC stage was a secret Nazi rune dog whistle designed to make America more racist. Okay.
That one's. Elliott has saw firsthand this week some of the out there listeners.
I used to feel bad when they would send out emails and it would say, "Hey Goose and Cronkite and Ned," and then they'd never mention poor little Elliott. I'm okay with that. It's fine. It's fine.
Goose, do you want to do an impression of that German making the
Well, sure. Let me see.
making the dog whistle?
Let's see.
Hey, I'm German. I got a dog whistle here. It's gonna make America racist.
That's CPAP.
I will say this: there is a certain somebody in here that can do really good impressions.
No, it's not Elliott.
Oh,
It's not at all.
Come on, Cronkite.
John says that
No,
Bigfoot is the only
no.
creature, is only a creature and not supernatural, and at times intertwined with aliens and UFOs.
Possible. Now, what kind of impressions can he do? Who can he do?
Oh, it's just different stuff. It's like it just randomly comes.
It's my different personalities.
Come on, man. Come on.
No, it's I can't do it on cue. It's like it's random personalities.
Let's go.
Hey, I'm Goose. This is you're listening to Here to Chew Bubblegums, and I'm also
That sucks.
I'm doing Elliott's art. It's Elliott. I'm Ned.
That's actually really close. I give him props on mine. That was good.
Let's see.
Spot
Lambdo,
on. You couldn't tell the difference.
Spot on.
Lambdo 263 says that COVID-19 came from nowhere.
So, hey, you all will enjoy this. Hold on a second. So, all right. So, I don't know how this got started the other day, but I was talking to a bunch of people that I work with. And so they go, you know that the UFO didn't crash in Roswell, right? And I was like, what are you talking about? They were like, it crashed in Corona, New Mexico. And I was like, okay, so what are you trying to say? Well, you know that's where this virus comes from, right?
Yeah.
It's all an alien virus. And I was like, dear God, don't ever talk to me again about
I'm never going to
virus.
drink none of that Corona beer ever again. That's where you get it.
I have never drank it, period. Oh, yes, please, let's move our microphone. We're just starting out on the show. Are you situated now?
I don't know. I'm going to have to duct tape my hands.
We're going to have to do something with your hands. I can tell you where to put them.
Corona.
Sit on.
I can't. I'm going to be able to talk.
Why?
Corona.
I have to work with my hands. I like working with my hands.
But we're not in here, like, doing...
You'll be sitting on my hands. I'll sit on my hands.
pottery.
I can't get my hands on that far, but all right.
That's because you're so slow.
No.
You have lifted so much, your arms won't extend because your muscles are so big.
His arms are a foot long. In case the listeners want to know.
I'm disproportionate. I can't do this.
All right. Go ahead, take your hands out.
You're turning red.
I can't do this.
Pretty sure that's a stress that they use in the military to like torture people.
I want to thank everyone for their response for the question of the week. Again, this week we will not have a question of the response, no listener email, no listener text, as this is our roundtable. You can always contact us by calling, texting, or leaving a voicemail by calling 606-373-3396. Or you can email.
You can email Goose at heretochewbubblegum.com, or you can email myself, Cronkite, at heretochewbubblegum.com. That's Cronkite, Cronkite. You can also reach the other two guys on this show, Elliott or Ned. You can go heretochewbubblegum at yahoo.com. Please put in the subject line, attention Ned or Elliott, whoever your question is directed to. Our Facebook page also has messaging, so you can direct message us there.
And you had one last email, or question of the week response, didn't you?
Yeah, Joey says flat Earth.
So, see, there's another one. Any responses?
Between my guy and Bobby and that guy over there, flat Earth is ridiculous.
Nobody said anything about the birds, though.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Somebody did say birds were drones.
Everybody believes it. So, the only person who doesn't is Cronkite, apparently.
Yeah, birds are not drones.
He says that, and there's birds right outside that are spying on us right now.
They're charging up.
We're going to take a short break and come back with segment 1, Skimwalker Ranch and Nikola Tesla. Now, I'm looking forward to this Nikola Tesla because we have Elliott here, we have Ned here. We'll have a good discussion. What are we listening to, Cronkite?
You're listening here to Chew Bubblegum. Please join us every
Sunday.
I'd sit on my hands again. I'm so sorry. Please join us every Sunday for the podcast. Also, Goose, did you know we're going to be on the radio?
I knew that.
104.9 later this month. Please listen to us, and we'll
on Sunday, September, March 21st.
So we have a date now.
Yes,
Okay,
March
March 21st.
WXLR.
That's right.
We will be back in just Hey everyone, this is Goose from Here to Chew Bubblegum. I want to tell you about my friend T-Shirt Joe at FastCustomShirts.com.
T-Shirt Joe is your go-to guy for all your custom work. Also, you can check out their website and find artist originals, college shirts, comics, famous folk, fetish, military, movie shirts, occupations, podcast and website shirts, plus he has face masks and many other items over at fastcustomshirts.com. While there at their website, you can sign up for their newsletter. Or you can give Joe a call at area code 361-814-9212. That's 361-814-9212 to contact my friend T-Shirt Joe at fastcustomshirts.com.
Goose and Cronkite. Give the guys a break. They're not that bright.
And welcome back here to Chew Bubblegum. My name is Cronkite. That man sitting left of me is Goose. The man sitting to the right of me is Elliott. And across the way there is Ned. Ned, Elliott, welcome to the bunker. How are you?
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah, it is.
Hello, everybody. My name's Goose.
And Goose, of course, with his impressions. Endless impressions. He is a treasure trove of impressions.
All right. Let me see your pen. No, seriously. Let me
I
see
brought
your
this
pen.
in here for a reason.
No, here, just let me see it.
I need to write things.
Come on. I'm gonna give it back to you. Now I'm gonna do a magic trick. I have a pen and a piece of paper. Watch this. This piece of paper has this. I'm sorry. I already messed it up.
This pen has disappeared.
This pen has turned into a piece of paper, and this piece of paper has turned into a pen.
Wow.
Pretty fantastic.
Do it again.
We're going to start out.
We'll be right back.
And we'll be right back.
And that's the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, this was a listener request when we first mentioned doing a roundtable. Your friend, Tanya?
Friend of the show, Tanya.
Yes. Tanya, friend of the show.
It's Tanya, not
Okay,
Tanya.
sorry. She wanted us to do a segment on Skimwalker Ranch. Briefly, Skimwalker Ranch is also known as the Sherman Ranch. It is a property located on approximately 512 acres in Ballard, Utah. It has a reputation of UFO activity and paranormal site. It was given the name Skinwalker from the Navajo legend meaning vengeful shaman. Now, there is a TV show called Skimwalker Ranch. Has anybody saw that?
Yes.
I've watched a little bit.
That's
Not all
Cronkite
of it.
says yes, by the way.
Hey, did you watch it all?
Yeah.
What about you, Ned?
That'd be a negative.
Okay. What did you think about the television show?
I liked it. I thought it was neat. Now, there was some unexplained magnetic stuff and some sightings of beams of light that was pretty interesting. But also, there was a gentleman that, I think he was the caretaker for the property, that kept getting the skin would actually detach from his skull.
Yeah.
Which was very strange. But overall, I like the show.
Okay.
There is a really good documentary about Skinwalker Ranch. It's called Hunt for the Skinwalker Ranch. It's by the same guy who did the Bob Lazar documentary. If you ever get a chance to watch
And
that one's really good.
What was the name of it again?
Hunt for Skinwalker Ranch or Hunt for the Skinwalker
I'll have to
Ranch.
check that
I
out.
can't remember exactly, but it was really good. It's made by the same guy who did the Bob Lazar one that you all talked about a few weeks ago. It's pretty good.
Hunt for Skinwalker.
And there's a book too by that name George Knapp, who used to cover for Art Bell on Coast to Coast. He was co-author of that book.
Yeah, well, you can forget recommending a book to him because he doesn't read. If it's not on video,
It's also an audiobook.
I read.
No, you don't.
My name's Goose, and nobody reads.
Whoa, was that Doodle? Where did Doodle come from?
Doodly-doo. Anyway, for over 50 years, Skimwalker Ranch has been popularly dubbed the UFO Ranch due to its sightings and strange events that has happened over the time. At one time, the ranch was owned by millionaire businessman Robert Bigelow. You've talked about him, Cronkite.
I certainly have.
And you remember the motel chain that he owned?
Budget Suites.
There you go. But Robert Bigelow sold the ranch to I can't think of the guy's
It
name.
was in 2016.
Yes,
I think.
2016. Was it Brandon?
Yeah, I
It
believe
was
so.
Brandon something, but it was to
I thought I had it.
It was Adamantium.
Adamantium Holding.
Yeah.
They named it after the claws and bones of Wolverine from Marvel Comics. So
Mm-hmm.
we're dealing with a bunch of nerds, guys.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Well, Robert Bigelow bought the ranch for $200,000, and when he sold it for like $15 million.
Wow.
So, now there was a lot of military stuff there that's not unclassified. That's still classified, and there's not really a lot that you can find out about what Robert Bigelow had done and so forth. But that area is a hot spot. They've also had animal mutations, crypto creatures, poltergeist activity, and other bizarre phenomenon with alarming frequency that dates back many, many years. When Bigelow bought the property, he installed his own scientific team to investigate various weird events. The property is now known far and wide as Skimwalker Ranch. Let's see. Bigelow and the Defense Intelligence Agency did have a partnership, and the Pentagon funded several programs. Stay inside the lines when you color.
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Okay.
The best time to highlight stuff and review show material is when we're actually doing the show and talking about what we're highlighting.
While you're reading over there and doing your thing, instead of me just sitting here and twiddling my thumbs, I'm actually doing work.
Well, you can join in the roundtable conversation.
I'm being productive. I don't hear Elliott or Ned talking.
That's what they were letting me set everything up so
Did
we
he
could
say he
have a talk.
doesn't want to hear us talk?
I was sitting here. I was letting you set everything up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You should set everything up. I'm going to continue coloring.
Well, again, the program AAWSAP. Man, that's long. AAWSAP. It eventually morphed into a smaller program known as AATIP.
Smaller program.
Let's see. Henry Reed also called Robert Bigelow the so-called hitchhiker phenomenon. Basically, you've got Robert Bigelow, who is a billionaire businessman, who teamed up with the government. They bought this property for cheap. They done all kinds of experiments there. They're still classified. And in the TV show, they even touch on some of the that it's still classified. I think the new owner, before he could buy it, had to go through a bunch of background checks and so forth. Now,
It's weird.
you have Robert Bigelow.
Mhm.
All right, millionaires, billionaires, they don't waste money, correct? Okay. Now he's also interested in space travel and so forth, as Elon Musk. Why would people that have, if there's no such thing as aliens or unexplainable events, why would they spend money to help understand or follow the technology? Are you almost done?
Am I hurting you?
Yes, you are, because I
That's
can
so
hear
loud.
your
Okay. So
through the headphones.
I've actually, Goose, I've actually read a little bit about, getting ready for today about Skimwalker Ranch. And one of the things I read was that Bigelow himself had, he got into the paranormal and all of this stuff when his son had passed away. And he was looking for a way to try to contact his son. So rumors about Skinwalker Ranch had been around for years before Bigelow was ever involved in it. When the family that owned it before Bigelow actually bought the ranch, they had stuff that started right off the bat, like the day it happened. Like there was a wolf, a large wolf that came up to the family and was nice around the family, and then all of a sudden attacked one of the cows, and they shot it with a .357 Magnum, and it didn't hurt it, and it just walked away. Strange things. They would see portals open up on the ranch, and they would look through. It was nighttime, but they would look through, and on the other side of the portal, it was daytime. Weird stuff like that.
Well, that's actually what I was highlighting is weird instances that the family.
Yeah.
They
had a ton. So all of this knowledge started getting back to Bigelow, and of course he owns a company now called Bigelow Aeronautics Systems, I think.
Yes.
And there's a lot of speculation. Did he buy the ranch because he wanted to figure out how to use that to make some kind of intergalactic, propulsion system or whatever, or did he buy it because he thought there may be a chance he could figure out a way to contact his son?
I think it was a little bit of both, because in my research here, what I'm finding is that he actually teamed up with the National Institute for Discovery of Science, and then the organization was later replaced by Bigelow Aerospace.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little bit of both, because he's even, I did a news article on it not long ago about him trying to figure out if there was life after death.
Right, where he's having the competition.
Right. So
now, not to interrupt you, but you see how better the show flows when you join in?
You were setting it up, and I was doing things.
Okay.
You just chill out over there, doodlebug.
Please continue.
In 2007, a secret unclassified government program, the Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program, began investigating UFOs. The program had a $22 million budget, and Robert Bigelow received much of that money for Skinwalker Ranch. So they obviously thought something like that. But now, even in the show, the show on the History Channel, they were talking about the odd magnetic field coming from the ridgeline there. But going back to the early days, so the Utes, which is a tribe of Native Americans, and they were. They believe that the land is fertile territory for skinwalkers, so they take it very seriously, and they're even today they won't allow their people on the property. They are banned from it, even though it borders their.
Why won't they let their people on the property?
It just from what I've seen, it just says that's just the way it's been for a long time. Tribe members are strictly forbidden from setting foot on the property. It's been that way for a long time. Now the Navajos are actually the ones that put the curse on the property, put it on there generations ago. Now I'm guessing that area used to be Ute territory, and the Navajos put it on that particular basin or whatever that is.
So, in my hopes, when I heard we were doing Skinwalker, I really wanted it to be just a ranch where there was a lot of skinwalkers. Because skinwalkers are like one of my favorite things in the world. Like, to go back and read about that stuff, it's usually a Native American, for lack of a better word, it's a wizard or someone who uses magic, a shaman. But they have to do something completely like evil, like they have to kill a family member or eat a family member, and then it's magical power that they use supposedly for bad stuff. I don't know, but they can apparently change shape and do all that stuff. There's a lot of
black magic.
Yeah, a lot of black magic. There's like a lot of cryptozoological stuff too, like. They can change into wolf men, or they can change into animals.
And that's actually one of the things that a lot of people say they have seen is on the ridgeline, especially, is a large dog-like creature with red eyes, and which now is weird because on the ridgeline that's where the magnetic pull or interference is so strong. I mean, they can't even fly their helicopter over it because of.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, but I'm more interested in these portals. The portals that you were talking about, I really like that. I mean, I talked a while back about my dad's dog going through a portal apparently or something. I like portals.
From one side of the house to the other.
Yeah, well, if you think about it in a way that, if space is really folded in time, if space is not just a straight plane, it's in folds. That it would kind of make sense that if a portal would open, but you know what? We talked about the Jacob's ladder a while back when we kind of had the theory of when he went through and reappeared 2 years later, but it was in a different area that he just went through and it was almost instantaneous for him.
Right.
But it was 2 years had passed. That's but the Earth had rotated around him or around through, and that's where he came back out. So I mean that I kind of like that. Portals are neat.
And his story is still fascinating. The Skimwalker Ranch and all my research and watching the television show, I will check out that documentary. Something is going on there.
Sure.
There is something even in the TV show, when they lift the lid off of the old well and people start getting sick,
Yeah.
just certain people start getting sick. Not everybody gets sick, just certain people. And I think that there's, certain people, and we've talked about this before, can be in tune and pick up stuff that other people can't.
Definitely.
So you say that. So I've read a part of the book. My favorite story about Skinwalker Ranch is once it started. Once all this word about what all happened there started getting out into the public, you had visitors, people who were stopping by wanting to participate or see something. So this one guy comes up one day and he's a hippie. He's like he wants to go meditate. He wants to do all this stuff. And he talks to the person who's over the ranch, and he's like, I want you to take me to the field so I can meditate. That guy's like, you don't want to go out there. There's weird things out there. You never know what you're going to see. No, man, I want to go out here and meditate. So he takes him out, and he leaves him alone, and he goes up on a hill to watch him because he's like, I wasn't going to leave him alone because, I didn't want a dead hippie on my ranch. So he's over there watching, and he said, how many people, you all have watched The Predator, right?
Yes.
You know where he turns invisible, but you can still barely
see his
make him
outline.
out? Yeah. So the guy's talking, he says, I'm up on the hill watching him, and I see something come out of the trees over there, and it's shining like the Predator does when he turns invisible. And he said the guy's he's sitting there with his eyes closed and he's meditating. And this thing is just slowly making its way towards him, and it gets right in his face and lets out the most god-awful scream that he's ever heard in his life. Like he said, it bellowed throughout the valley. So that hippie comes running. He gets scared to death, and he comes running. And he's like, please, please. He grabs a hold of him. He's like, get me out of here, get me out of here. And he's like, I will take you out of here if you let go of me and promise not to hold me like you're holding me. He's like, I'll do anything you want. Just get me out of here. So stuff like that is happening all the time, And why did it seek that guy out while he was meditating and not the people who were there on a daily basis on the ranch? You see what I'm saying?
And that's interesting because in the show they were talking about, or I guess what would you call it, docuseries or whatever. They were talking about that the ranch will mess with new people. I guess he has moods or something. I don't know. I mean, but the people that are there on a daily basis, unless they disturb the area, because the one guy that was the caretaker his
scout.
He is only when he was like digging, like with the excavator. But now,
so kind of like a haunted house. You don't really have any problems until you start making renovations.
Right.
Yes, and we've talked about that before on the show. If you have a place that's haunted, people start making renovations, and stuff starts going haywire.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty. Then Skinwalker Ranch really has everything. They have
they have UFOs, creatures.
Haunted poltergeist,
yes.
cryptozoology,
I mean,
shady government.
The whole area could be a portal, an interdimensional portal.
But what's sad though, it's closed off to the public now. Mm-hmm. You cannot go there.
Now it is.
Yes.
Yeah, there used to be a public road that was through there, but now they've closed that off.
Closed it off.
Wow.
So.
But here's what's interesting. So the monolith story that I was talking about months ago.
Oh gosh, here we go.
It's in the same area of the state. It's in the southeast, or it's in the southeastern part of the state, and literally about 75 hour miles north.
It was a straight line. Wasn't it?
Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah.
Native American history and stuff. That always, to me, anything in America that's paranormal, I believe that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they were,
Sure.
You go back to Native American history and you can find Bigfoot descriptions, you can find UFOs, you can find, several things.
Well, I know I've said it several times on the show when you talk about everything is connected. And the Native Americans thought that 100%. Everything had an energy, a frequency that it vibrated to, and this is the way the world is. You are in tune with the world.
See, I'm going to have to get into, that's why I like Montauk so much, is because
it has everything.
It has everything. So I'm going to have to really get into Skinwalker Ranch and look around some more. I've read a little bit here, I've read a little bit there, but I'm going to watch that docuseries for sure.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
Definitely check out the documentary. Briefly touching back on Robert Bigelow, he has said that he believes there's connections between conscious research, UFO subjects, and he includes the risk of trying to establish communications with the unknown. And let's see, I guess it was a few weeks ago you read the news story about him having the contest to prove if there was life after death and so forth. Now, is he in or whatever with the Facebook AI project? Have you heard anything? You were the one that told us about that.
I'm not sure about him being in on that, no. I have to look. It's worth a Google right now.
Basically, so he doesn't have to talk. That's what's happening right now.
What's that?
It's so he doesn't have to talk. That's what's happening right now.
No,
Yeah,
that's
it
not
really
it.
Ned is a serious man that does serious research. Y'all need to just let him do it.
Come on, man, do the
What's his
research.
name? Deuce Bigelow?
Yep.
Yeah, Deuce Bigelow.
That takes Skinwalker Ranch in a whole different
Yes,
direction.
yes, it does. Yes, it does. But we did this segment for Tanya.
Oh, yeah.
So, we hope that we didn't disappoint you. We didn't really go a whole lot into it,
Well, listen, I mean,
'Cause,
we
you
have
know-
several topics that we're going to be talking about
Yes,
during this.
so,
So, I mean,
As much as I like it, though, like, Skinwalkers, to me, is the topic that you need to talk about in that. Because, I mean, why do they call it Skinwalker Ranch? You know what I mean? Like, I understand, like, it's got a lot of stuff, but apparently there's been a lot of Skinwalker activity there. So
well, I think it goes back to the Native Americans when they let's see.
it's in the Uintah Basin, right?
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And they said the Skinwalker Ranch, the Utes will not enter the area known as Skinwalker Ranch because they believe it is fertile territory for skinwalkers. So they've had experiences.
Right.
Now, what will happen if they do enter there? Are they allowed back in their tribe?
Now, that's a good question. I don't know. It just says that it's strictly prohibited and forbidden.
So, if we have any Native American listeners that know anything about Skinwalkers, please write in.
Yes,
let us know.
absolutely.
Ned, were you able to find out anything?
Not yet. I'm still looking.
We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and talk about Nikola Tesla, his inventions, and similarities with Donald Trump, the adventures of Barron Trump, and John Trump. We'll be back in just a moment.
Are you a horror movie fan?
Yeah, I dig horror movies.
Are you searching for a great internet horror talk radio show to listen to?
Why, sure, that sounds quite spiffy.
Then you need to tune into deadpit.com. It's the original horror talk radio show. Dead Pit is a show by the fans and for the fans. Uncensored and unbiased opinions are the goal of the show, giving fans honest reviews on new films and vintage classics of the horror genre. Make deadpit.com your #1 horror station destination.
You're listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum. If Abraham Lincoln were alive, he'd listen. But he's dead.
And we're back. Cronkite.
You heard that, didn't you, Cronkite?
That was very professional. I
Thanks.
enjoyed that.
That was a terrible opening.
No, that was awesome.
Yeah, you're supposed to be like, welcome back, here's Goose, here's Cronkite, really, I'm Ned.
You only got one voice. You can only do one voice.
Well, that's not true. I can do several voices.
Everybody's already had a bathroom break, so.
Do them. Do some other voices.
Hi, I'm Goose.
You've already done that, man. Do something else.
No,
Why?
because my personalities aren't out right now.
All right, Captain Graybeard.
Can you do any accent?
I can't.
Captain Graybeard.
That's horrible.
It is horrible. We should shave that.
No.
Do it.
No.
We're going to.
Do it.
Yeah, do
I'm
it.
not doing it.
Do it.
I'm not doing it.
What can you do, Ned?
What's your eyes?
Is it Australian?
No.
Let's throw another shrimp on the barbie.
No, that's not it. Do it
No.
for the rest of the show. He's so
The
good at
rest
it.
of the show. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Hello, boy. Hello.
No.
Tally ho.
The only reason I did it was because one night it was in Tennessee and we paid a guy like $50 to take us to Taco Bell. And
This is a fact. This is a true story.
Y'all must have really wanted Taco Bell.
yeah.
And this was before Uber Eats, right?
I'm not sure.
This was last year.
Uber.
Yeah.
Because
It was,
he showed up in a Prius, and Cronkite was like,
so I got in there and that car was like every time it hit a bump. And I was told to order all the food in a British accent. And I did. And I think it screwed with the Taco Bell person because it was like, he goes, will that be for here to go? I was like, obviously to go. I'm in the drive-thru.
You should have told him just that you were going to eat it there and just put it on the table.
No, I was going. Well, if I'd have thought about it and I hadn't been slightly inebriated, I would have probably just I would have probably just had the Uber guy sit there in the drive-thru while I ate all 58 tacos.
So the next segment, you need to talk in your British accent.
No, it might be offensive.
No, it's not. You're very good at it.
Welcome back.
Okay.
I'm Cronkite.
Now, is all the coloring done?
Wait, what's our next one?
Nikola Tesla?
Okay, well, no, not yet then.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to start.
Okay. Nikola Tesla was born July 10th, 1856, and passed away January 7th, 1943. He was an inventor, electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, futurist, best known for his contributions to the design of the modern alternating current, the AC electrical system. He had many inventions that we have benefited from and are still benefiting from today. Now, we've had, and Elliott's with us. I'm glad Elliott's in the studio because we had a two-part before when we talked about Nikola Tesla.
Yeah.
There's so many avenues and ways it could go.
Well, and you and I talked a little bit this week, and there's a bombshell.
Yeah, and I will wait till we get on up to that part before I mention that, but there is some new information that was posted that we didn't have when we talked about last time, and I find this fascinating. And
it seals the deal.
Yeah.
100% seals the deal.
It makes you lean towards more time travel stuff.
Yes.
So where do you guys want to start talking about Nikolai? We can
start
anywhere.
If you want to talk about Nikolai, I will talk about the other two.
Okay, you'll talk about
Trump and Musk.
Okay, all right.
It is kind of strange that, like, even on when I talked about Montauk Project, he was a big part of the Montauk Project.
Yes, he was.
He was involved in a little bit of everything, I think.
He definitely was. Some of his inventions were the AC motor, the carbon button lamp, the death ray. That was supposedly was his last invention that caused him conflict with the U.S. government. The plasma globe, the plasma lamp, the radio control, teleforce, teleoperation, Tesla coil, Tesla experimental station, Tesla turbine, the vacuum, the variable capacitor, the violet ray. I mean, it goes on and on and on. World wireless system, wireless power transfer. I mean, the man was a genius.
Well, and he also the rumor is in the lost works of Nikola Tesla there was a time travel machine, a time machine.
Yeah, that's what people have alleged. There's no documentation to prove that, but there is some certain similarities and cases that will make you think that that is 100% true.
There were 2 crates of files went missing.
Yeah, well, no, there were more than 2. I can't remember exactly how many, but wasn't there like 20 some that went missing?
Oh yeah, no, that is right because it was like there was 80 crates.
Yeah, and there was only like
60 returned. Yeah, okay, yeah. There was factor that by 10, so there were 20 crates.
Okay. So immediately following Nikola Tesla's death, the government swoops in to acquire his papers. The FBI instructed the Office of Alien Property to immediately take possession of all that remained of his property and possessions. Now, okay, first, the Office of Alien Property that office doesn't exist anymore. You have a guy that was born overseas but came here early in life and was an American citizen. Mm-hmm. Why would the Office of Alien Property first come in and take his stuff?
That's a good question.
Is it alien that, person who moved here from another country, or is it alien?
Person who moved here from another planet.
It may have started out as person who moved here from another country, but I mean, Tesla may just not be,
right
from the neighborhood.
After all.
Well, the way the Office of Alien Property was described when it did exist, and I'm going off me briefly reading over it, it was an office that basically, if there was any threats to the United States, this office came in and took possession of that technology or information or whatever the case may be. But when they did go into his room, they had a doctor, John G. Trump, look through his stuff.
No, that's interesting. Who is John G. Trump
Now,
to
that-
Donald Trump?
That is his uncle.
Oh,
So, okay.
very interesting, sir.
After-
Interesting indeed.
After going, I like that.
Well, it's my British accent. It's what I ordered Taco Bell with. We got 58 tacos, and I ate the absolute.
I have never talked to a British woman in person before, and I will tell you that is very, very, very hot.
Sir, you need to watch your manners around me.
But after
My name is Goose. This is my Goose impression on the English accent channel. Here to chew bubblegum, yes. Right, cheerio, hip hip, and jolly and whatnots.
oh, I am glad to see that the coffee is kicking in. So, but what I was saying is after John G. Trump came in and looked over Nikola Tesla's files, his papers, his articles, his possessions, he said there was nothing of interest.
Yeah, which is totally that's mind blowing because, like you like we talked about, there's
Yes.
20 crates missing.
Yes.
And this man, who has a background in engineering, electrical engineering,
Yes.
goes in to see if there's anything of interest, and he's like, "Oh no, there's nothing here." Meanwhile, he's probably stuffing it in his shirt pocket.
And I definitely think that's what happened because we talked about that before. Because I think in the late 1890s, early 1900s, Nikola Tesla accidentally invented the X-ray. Now, if you read and do research on Donald G. Trump, he is credited with modern day X-ray equipment.
Right.
So there's number one. Let's see. There was recently declassified documents that reveal that the FBI at the time were concerned over Nikola's supposed death ray and his trying to sell that to another country.
Why would anyone be concerned over something called a death ray?
I have no clue. That
Makes
is
no
a very,
sense.
very, very good point.
Well, now also Nikola Tesla's was it nephew?
Yes.
Was the ambassador? Was the U.S. ambassador to Hungary?
Yes.
So, yeah, okay, I can kind of see the correlation as far as why they would think that a foreign power would be interested in his works. Keep it in the family,
Right.
so to speak.
Right.
You know.
Now, and when his nephew fought to get his stuff back, that's when there were 20 trunks missing. Now, there was a bunch. Let's see, there was 80 trunks that had all of his papers and effects, but only 60 arrived in Belgrade. Whether the U.S. government had some of the information and effects is still not known to this day. But it's interesting that when there was documents released in 2016 over Nikola Tesla, there was still a bunch missing. That was supposed missing. Those were not released. It's also believed that Ronald Reagan's Star Wars strategic defense program in the 1980s was inspired by the Tesla death ray. This article goes on to claim that the government is still using Tesla's material for research and development to this day.
I could see that, yeah.
Something just occurred to me. We were talking about in one of our other segments Ronald Reagan and all of the stuff that came out in the 80s. Why would we need? I know we said that Star Wars was to, shoot down nuclear weapons, but space laser. What does he know that we don't know?
Well,
That's a good point.
Ronald Reagan had an obsession with UFOs.
Yeah.
And he had experiences where, he saw UFOs. Possibly him and his wife Nancy was abducted in the late 60s, early 70s. Just him writing in his diary in, the mid-80s that our government had the capacity to seat 300 people on a spaceship. That's 37 years ago. why would, I mean, just imagine the technology since then. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
if they had that in 1985, they may have a ship now that could seat 3,000 people.
Sure.
You know,
Absolutely.
and it just makes you think, you know, why would the government spend and waste money on that? Why would billionaires like Elon Musk, Robert Bigelow, spend money on space technology if something is not there?
The future of the human race is not Earth. That's a given. It is into the cosmos. If we want to survive as a race, we have to leave this planet, or at least branch out. Some of us go away because the planet is not going to survive forever. We know that. That's just the way the world. That's just the way the universe works. Planets come, they're destroyed. That's it.
So we hope everybody out there is having a great day.
Not to bring anyone down today or
Yeah,
not.
yeah, that was definitely a downer.
Well, listen, the coffee's kicking out and I'm crashing hard.
Well, you're going to talk about Donald G. Trump. No, I'm sorry, John G. Trump.
No, I'm talking about Donald Trump.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, all right. So we're talking about the what I've got is the conspiracy that surrounds Trump and Elon Musk. So, are you ready for that right now? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
And Elliott, jump in. Ned, jump in.
So there is a time travel theory about Donald Trump. The U.S. president's time traveling theory links back to a couple of science fiction books written by Lockwood Ingersoll in the 1890s. The books were called Travels and Adventures of Little Baron Trump and His Wonderful Dog Bulger. Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey and The Last President. Now, if you are familiar with our 45th president, you know that he has a son named Baron Trump. If you look at a drawing from the 1890s and this kid's face, they look just enough alike to kind of say, maybe. Some readers claim that the books have storylines and characters which link back to the U.S. president. For example, the main character in the novels has the same name as Donald Trump's son. The character sets out on a journey and heads to Russia. Then Lockwood's third book, The Last President, there is a storyline where the people in New York City are opposing the election of a new candidate, and in early November, Donald Trump won the presidential election on November 8th in 2016, and of course we all remember that the opposition, Clinton, had already had fireworks ready to go, and she was going to be the president. She knew it. You know what I mean? Plus, there's another creepy reference in the book which says the Fifth Avenue Hotel will be the first to feel the fury of the mob. The Trump Tower is located on Fifth Avenue in New York City. But also, in The Last President, maybe it was his vice president that was named Leif Pence.
Yes.
So coincidence, obviously,
A lot
right?
of coincidences.
A lot of them.
Now, do you have anything else there before I jump in?
Not for Donald Trump, no.
Okay.
But
all right. The author that you've talked about, Ingersoll Lockwood, he was born August the 2nd, 1841. Lockwood, sorry. And he passed away September 30th, 1918. Okay. He was a lawyer and a writer. Okay. He was born in New York. There's not much about him after his midlife stuff, after him writing the books, so to speak.
Right.
He was married once, he got divorced. There's not much about his personal life. Now, it did say that when he was retired and stuff, he kept to himself and seclusion. Now, he wrote a quote at the age of 70 in which he said, and this was before he passed away, "The end has almost come. I'm only waiting for the signal to push off and begin my voyage to the Isles of the Blessed in the far western seas. I was troubled in my mind at first, for my little bark, staunch though it may be, sat too deep in the water. It was overladen and wouldn't be current, and merchandise that wouldn't be sellable in the Isles of the Blessed. Overboard with now I have lightened ship, I feel better."
All right, we get it, Ingersoll. You know how to use words.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, all right. That, after what I found out recently and reading that, makes me think that he could be a possible time traveler. Because I've recently discovered
Here we go.
that, and this, when we talked about him last time, this information was not there. There is a company called Ingersoll Lockwood Incorporated that exists today, and guess what they specialize in?
What?
Cyber Defense Media Group is what they say. Okay. Now, the history of their company, their namesake, Ingersoll Lockwood, deliver futuristic and visionary content over a century ahead of his time. This is their mission statement. He passed on great knowledge to Stephen G. Samuels, who shared the Great Awakening Plan, also known as the Plan for the New American Century, with our entire team, who continue to carry on this tradition today. Our mission is to build a brighter future for humanity, for America. Okay, now,
Does it say when that company was created?
I didn't dig that far in it. I was kind of blown away by just their mission statement.
Right.
And what, a cyber defense media group. Now, that could be anything. That could be, you can take that and you can do anything with that. I mean, but they have government contracts.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Because cyber defense, they have government contracts. And they're, like I said, our mission, they continue, we leverage that our founder called Future Vision, and that's in quotation marks, where we deliver solutions based on trade secret predictive intelligence. They also dabble in a mixture of futuristic inventions, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, all used for the good of humanity.
Over a century ahead of its time.
What do you guys think about that?
I think that possibly Lockwood was a time traveler, and that he saw that the new country that he's talking about, the new America. Was the beginning. It was the beginning with Donald Trump.
Well,
So Ingersoll Lockwood had an uncle who was also a political writer, a lawyer, and a novelist. His name was Ralph Ingersoll Lockwood, and he wrote a book called The Insurgents.
Well, and all the civil unrest in the country today. You have to. I mean, it's interesting,
now,
to say the least.
and we've talked about Lockwood before. You can't find anything really about him after, from his. I mean, it's just like he disappeared. And he made that statement in his 70s. And now to find out there is a civil defense media group that shares his name, and I read their mission statement. Mm-hmm. What does that sound like to you it could possibly be?
Exactly.
What if Ingersoll Lockwood is a pseudonym for someone else?
Yeah. Like
Say-
who? John Trump?
Like, say, Barron Trump.
Well, I mean, he has his own company, and that company specializes in stock market stuff, future inventions, and I'm gonna be honest. When I found that, and I shared that with you the other day, I was blown away by that. I'm like, whoa.
Seals the deal, 100%. 100%.
Now, all right, how does Elon Musk come into this situation?
So when we talk about Nikola Tesla, and really this was a theory that I cooked up a while back, but when we talked about Nikola Tesla, they were talking about cloning,
right?
And that they had taken some of his DNA. Keep on file.
Now, and there's still, to go back to the previous time we talked about him, his body was in New York one time, and then and they did a death mask of him. I think it was maybe a gold death mask, and then it was cremated and shipped off to Belgrade to the Nikola Tesla Museum.
Yeah.
And that was several years later that happened.
Right. So when we talk about that, we talk about the cloning. Now, there are several cloning facilities, I suppose, in South Africa.
Yes, there are.
And this next gentleman that I'm going to talk about was actually born in South Africa.
Okay.
Elon Reeves Musk, born June 28th, 1971. He was industrial designer and engineer. He is a co-founder, CEO, CTO, and chief designer of SpaceX. He was the CEO and product architect of Tesla Incorporated. He founded the Boring Company and co-founded Neuralink, and co-founder and initial chairman of OpenAI. Musk is one of the richest people in the world. Musk was born to a Canadian mother and a South African father, and raised in Pretoria, South Africa. He briefly attended the University of Pretoria before moving to Canada. So essentially, it's possible that he was cloned and was born in South Africa.
Now, when you and Ned presented this to me, a few months ago, I kind of laughed.
You did.
Until I started doing research. And I found out, that the top 5 not cloning, but labs with DNA and stuff are in South Africa. And one of them is not too far from where Elon Musk was born at.
Pretoria, South Africa.
So, I don't find that laughable.
Not at all. So, the theory that I've kind of cooked up with here is Nikola Tesla is a clone. Or no, I'm sorry. Elon Musk is a clone of Nikola Tesla. But he is actively securing more and more funds to reach further into space.
Yes, he is.
What if Nikola Tesla, or what if Elon Musk is not the clone of Nikola Tesla? What if Nikola Tesla is the clone of Elon Musk?
So you mean they time traveled back in the old days instead?
I have a headache.
I don't know.
I see what you're saying, but wow.
It's a stretch. It is a stretch. I know.
And this is a big rabbit hole. But there's too many, and I'm going to do some research on his Uncle Ralph,
That's pretty neat. So that Ingersoll Lockwood, I looked up their company page,
Yes.
and it mentions on their company page, was he a time traveler, a mystery man, a futurist? What was he? So why, if you're working with the government, and by the way, they're located on Pennsylvania Avenue in Washington D.C. That's where they're they're located on 1717 Pennsylvania Avenue.
That's right next door to the White House
in Washington D.C. Their whole deal is, if you're trying to be a real company that's doing all this stuff, why would you put mystery man, futurist, time traveler on your, about us page?
Yeah, exactly.
Now
They're hiding in plain sight at this point.
That is
it is a conspiracy.
I
get it.
All right. I think Lockwood was a time traveler. And people's going to laugh when they hear this episode. There's too much evidence.
There's
supporting
too many
that
coincidences.
he was a time traveler.
But
I'm not one. And
he is wrapped up with the Trump family somehow.
And you have that on their website.
He's wrapped up with the Trump family somehow. Unless, but he would have to know.
He would have to be connected to the Trump family, correct?
But he would have to know in order to write those books with as many similar characteristics as there were, he would have had to know what transpired here in the 21st century.
Yeah.
To write something that happened then in the 19th century.
Yeah.
That is.
Seals the deal. Seals the deal. Time travel for real.
And honestly, you can say, well, you all started out talking about Nikola Tesla. How'd you get on this? This is where it all started.
Yeah.
With his uncle, John Trump, finding his papers and documents and all that.
The rabbit holes go so deep with this one. It's crazy.
But it didn't really turn out good for Trump, did it? When you think about that, and I'm not trying to get political, but
right.
and then I'm not trying to disprove your own stuff. I'm just saying, what if you are a time traveler and you have access to all of that, wouldn't you have saw what's happening coming?
Maybe it was a different timeline.
That's true.
Well, there is that. There is the whole John Titor theory that once you go back in time, you create a divergent timeline to go forward.
But you are also thinking about when you talk about the book The Last President, when you have all of the civil unrest, and then you look at the
what's going on now.
Yeah, and then you talk about the fact that the Lockwood Company It's talking about the future, 100 years in the future.
The new Great Awakening.
The new Great Awakening. Yeah. Donald Trump could have very well been the last president to serve out his full term if everything goes, tits up or whatever,
Right. What's your thoughts on all this, Ned? Especially hearing about the company with the guy's name, their mission statement, what they do.
I'm with Bart. I'm Cronkite. Sorry. Edit that out.
We're with who?
I'm with Cronkite.
That's
I'm not the only one.
No, it's.
Yeah, I'm with Nick too. I think.
You just made it real hard to edit. So, all right.
If you look at it, it's what they say if a time traveler. It's if you go into the future and you come back and you can alter something's going to change. It's like butterfly effect?
Butterfly effect, yeah.
So what if when he time traveled, that was the name of those people in that book, and that's what happened. But when he came back and wrote the book, it just changed and altered the.
It's very possible.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's.
The one argument that people are going to make is, well, Ingersoll Lockwood wrote this book in the 1800s, and Donald Trump could have just saw it, named his child Barron, but that doesn't account for everything. Like
no.
how did he make sure he got the hotel on Fifth Avenue? How did he make sure that he won the presidency? How did he make sure that this it all had that's a.
What do you think about the company being named after him?
That is a rabbit hole I'm going to go down very soon.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah,
and like I said, I just found about that last week. That wasn't available last time when we was doing the research.
And I'm sitting here trying to look at their products and what they do, and it's one of those
very vague.
Yeah, you see your stuff is our stuff. We take care of our own, made in the USA, but it doesn't tell you what's made in the USA.
We'll look on there and see if there's a careers page and see if they're hiring, and maybe one of us could go undercover.
Yeah, you want to drive up to Pennsylvania?
No, I don't like Pennsylvania, so I can't go there.
Sure
I'm sorry, not Pennsylvania, Washington, or D.C. So
I'm sure their AI is listening right now.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to be able to get within 100 foot of that place.
So if any Men in Black show up, I'm sending them to your all's house. What's it? So are they an investment group? They're
They're part investment group, and then let me dig back through my papers here. They do investment group, but then they also help futurists with their inventions. They also work with artificial intelligence and machine learning, all used for the good of humanity. So they do investments, but they also help people patent stuff, AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning. Now, what would classify as machine learning? What would that be?
Self-aware?
Yeah.
Well, what I think of when I read machine learning is the way all these school kids have been doing online stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Machine learning. And then you go into the COVID. There's just so many avenues.
They have an email address and a phone number. I wonder if they would do an interview.
Well, that's something we need to definitely try.
They have to have a PR department.
We definitely need to try that.
You guys want to be on a paranormal podcast? We did some research.
Radio show.
You guys are right in the middle of this Donald Trump time travel theory.
It's not a paranormal podcast as much as we teach people how to chew bubblegum in the place they are.
That's you go.
Here
That's a fact.
To chew bubblegum.
It also says on some of the papers that I got here, we unleash new technology safeguards
Unleash
to defend humanity from novel threats.
It's the birds.
And to accelerate great awakening.
My God, it's all coming together now.
Oh,
They are the creators of the bird drones.
Well, this podcast is off the rails now.
We market our own
just
solutions.
like Paintsville.
It's off the rails, off the train. Oh,
we market our own solutions first and our own open source intelligence media platforms on a strategic mainstream media platform.
And why would you just randomly name your group that deals with all the kind of the same technology that Nikola Tesla would be involved in?
Exactly.
After Ingersoll Lockwood,
yeah,
who wrote a book about the Trumps, who might have stolen all of Nikola Tesla's work.
They're hiding in plain sight. It's the best
because
place.
it seems
That's the
because
best
it
place to
seems
be.
so weird
I
that no
think
one
you're
would.
right.
Yeah, like when you mention it, like the four of us are going to be laughed at, but we may be close. You know what I mean? Like, and they know that.
Well, I mean, I'm used to getting laughed at. You see the way I look.
You may be too close.
Ned's got the.
We were
drums.
kind of laughing, but then we got scared.
Just stared at
It's
him.
a sleeper. We're done.
Watching you all.
Kill it with fire.
But I mean, the whole thing's just fascinating, and it throws another layer on this discussion. And it seems like when we did this last time, you know, we threw layers on, like with the Elon Musk being born, you know, with the DNA labs and all that, genetic labs. That was like a big eggshell that we dropped. Now we dropped this one, so it's fascinating to think about when we talk about this again later. What's going to come about? What we could possibly find. But you know,
Hopefully Donald Trump will come on.
Yeah, there's going to be some like Tesla helicopters landing next Sunday at Bunker Studios.
you know, well, I mean, you know, I definitely think this all started with Nikola
It's
Tesla.
going to be several armed guards get out, and they're all Elon Musk.
Are you
Get
Goose
in.
and Cronkite and Ned and Elliott?
No.
No, that's Doodle. And
This is Doodle. That's some British lady.
That's Flitter Cake.
I just start talking and everybody goes to the bathroom. So we're good. It's good.
We don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, no, all the armed guards get out, and they take their masks off, and they're all Elon Musk. Get in.
But I mean,
At that point, I would probably go. I'd be like, all right, let's
Yeah.
do this. Come on.
but I mean, you know, it's, you know, and the truth is out there.
Yes.
I mean, that's all I can say.
Definitely.
And there's so much, and I can tell that Elliott's taken aback when I said
I'm
that.
sitting
You
here, I'm
know,
trying my best to like
So-
put it all together in my brain, and
They
it
just-
really is hurting.
you know, I mean, but you have a company like he said that's, I mean, you know, INC Incorporated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's right below the White House.
Been incorporated since the late 1800s.
So really,
It looks that
it
way.
had been incorporated since the late
Well,
1800s.
It says that that Ingersoll Lockwood shared the knowledge of what
Mm-hmm.
America would need for the new Great Awakening with Shaw Samuel or Shane Samuels.
Samuel, yeah.
Yeah, and like there is still a Samuels on the board, but if he to share it, it would have had to have been the late 1800s.
There's still a Samuels
There's
on
still
the
a
board.
Samuels on the board according to this,
Wow.
which
Stephen
is
G.
another.
Samuels.
So
Yeah.
I wonder if the Lockwood Company is the secret government, the one world government they keep talking about, or not they, but everyone keeps talking about.
Oh, and there's also a Gorman on the board of directors, which takes us back to that Gorman dogfight we talked about.
Yeah.
And he is a member of the U.S. Navy, retired.
And the
He's the
Navy
vice
pops up
chairman.
again.
Wow.
And there's a member of the U.S. Army, retired. The Department of Homeland Security founding member is the Samuels guy.
Now, come on.
He's the chairman. Then there's a Department of Defense consultant, an active Department of Defense consultant, a U.S. Army general retired, and a U.S. Army member retired.
No, why would a Department of Defense people be involved in a stock market company?
Yeah, I'm not emailing them.
You know,
Yeah, let's not do that.
I'm gonna
I
need
think
you.
I'm going to.
I think you need to edit this whole thing out.
I mean, you know, wow.
What is a U.S. patriot?
Yeah, I don't understand that one. Is that just
is
like...
It's
It just says it has a name. I'm not going to mention the name
Right.
because I enjoy living. It's got a name and then it says U.S. Patriot Director. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 directors, a vice chairman, and then a chairman. And the chairman is Stephen G. Samuels.
we have stumbled onto something.
Stephen G. Samuels is a chairman.
Uh-huh.
Do y'all hear
Now,
something?
The lights are flickering.
I wonder. No, they
Do y'all hear helicopters?
No. I wonder if Stephen G. Samuels.
Okay, this is weird. Okay, so it wasn't in the like. Okay, this is on the our history. It says in the late 1800s, our namesake Ingersoll Lockwood delivered futuristic and visionary content over a century ahead of its time. He passed on this knowledge to Stephen G. Samuels,
In 2016.
who shared the Great Awakening plan, also known as the Plan for the New American Century, with our entire team, who continue to carry on this tradition today. Our mission is to build a brighter future for humanity, starting with the resurgence of American exceptionalism.
What
Now,
year?
Stephen G. Samuels is still the name that is on the board.
What year?
And that's still
It doesn't
the one
give
that,
us a year.
that Lockhart shared the information with.
Does it
Steve-
say
I bet it's 2015,
the third
2016.
junior or anything? Or is it just...
No, same.
No, just Stephen G. Samuels. He was a member of the United States Department of Homeland Security, founding member.
Stephen G.
That's what
Samuels.
Stephen G. Samuels was, and he's the chairman, according to this.
Well, we'll see, y'all.
Well, we have. May I see your pen, please? Future episodes, we're going to research Stephen G. Samuels.
That's
For those interested, my name is Eli, and I work at XLR. Please do that with me. I have nothing to do with this group. I've been kidnapped. Send help.
what are the odds? I mean, I wonder if the company was founded right around the first election
I want to work that.
of Donald Trump.
Maybe it was. That is unreal.
You know,
Wow.
A wise man once told me, I'm going to put this out there,
Uh huh.
to keep a secret, you become part of the secret.
Yes. Let us in on it. Let me have a UFO.
We'll take it home.
It has
Just-
spinners on the side. And
So Stephen G. Samuels was a founding member, and he's still the chairman. But Lockhart passed away in 1918.
Yeah, before. Yeah.
And wow, so Stephen G. Samuels would have to be what, like 100?
He's over 100.
Over
so-
like
I mean,
122 years old.
And that's if you talk to him as a baby on his deathbed.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's.
That's. I definitely think that we have definitely the look. I've never seen the look from you before, Cronkite, in your eyes right now.
this is,
I made a little
This has definitely took a twist.
yeah, this is a lot of information to process.
You know,
Have we stumbled onto something?
I'm glad we didn't do this one first.
I definitely think we have stumbled onto something, and we will. This is something that we will continue on.
This is crazy.
You know, Ned,
I'm
Ned?
mind blown right now.
what's your thoughts?
Okay. Ingersoll Lockwood Incorporated was founded in 1981.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
Now, okay, if you go back to 1981, that is when they claim, a lot of people, that time travel started. Was the government's first time travel project was 1981.
That's true.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories on that.
Seals the deal. Seals the deal. Time travel's
You know,
possible.
you had that's. I mean, I don't know how many things I've read that's like the government. Yeah, they did time travel in 1981. They were doing experiments in 1980. You know, or since the Philadelphia experiment, but they actually had 100% success in 1981. I have read that on several websites.
I mean, there's no doubt about time travel.
I mean, this
Like time
right here,
dilation, or whatever you call
this
it.
right here, what we've come up with today, proves it. I mean, it has to.
I mean, it's a
Stephen
lot
G.
of coincidence
Samuels,
not to be true.
There's,
That's a lot of coincidence.
All it takes is speed.
I'm gonna be honest. My mind is kind of numb right now.
Right?
You know,
I'm really hoping that this is somebody who's made up this company and is just doing this as a joke.
Oh, God. I hope so, too, because
Yeah,
it's
but
scary.
I
I'm
mean,
really hoping it is.
that would be a lot of work, though.
Well, yeah, but the alternative.
Okay, all right. Let's try that again real quick. Give me their address again.
Just call them right now on the show.
Well, no.
Let's not
Thank
do
you
that.
for calling Ingersoll.
Hold on a second. I'll get it for
Oh,
you.
please.
He's gonna give us the address
It
here.
is 1717
Wait, 1 second. 1717.
Pennsylvania Avenue, Northwest, 10th floor of Suite 1025, Washington, D.C., 20006.
Are you looking that up, Cronkite?
I am.
Okay. Good.
Here's their phone number. I'm not calling it. I thought about it. I had it. And I was like,
Block your
no,
number
I'm
and call
not
it.
Oh, here, let's see their phone number.
This is.
It is an office building.
This makes great radio too. By the
This
way.
is very good radio.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Street View. Here we go.
We're on.
Wow.
We're
No,
on.
it is an office
Yeah,
building.
now so it is an office building.
10th floor,
10th floor.
Suite 1025. Well,
Road trip, anybody?
Let's to turn that around. Let's see their number.
doing.
Is that it at the bottom?
Yeah, here.
Okay.
Are you calling?
There it is.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yep.
No, where are you going, man?
Ned's out.
Wait. No, Ned, sit down there. Okay.
Guys, we're all in it together now, so.
Thank you for listening to Here to Chubo.
We're experiencing technical difficulties.
Let's turn the speakerphone on here. We are calling. What was the name of it?
You have reached the voicemail of Cyber Defense Media Group. Please leave a message after the tone. Thank you for calling.
Well, we have just learned that nobody has made that up. That is not fake.
It would be hilarious if it was like, Goose, you've reached.
Hello,
been waiting.
Goose. Thank you for calling.
My goodness.
All right,
That
guys.
is-
Honestly,
wow. I
what do
mean,
you think about that? Your face is red. Your face is red. You're white as a ghost.
There's
Elliott.
only so many.
My face is red because my my blood pressure's up.
Okay.
There's only so many coincidences before it's not a coincidence anymore.
That's the truth.
So, I mean, I'm speechless. I mean, honestly, I am, and it takes a lot to get me speechless.
Listen to this: Ingersoll Lockwood was a passenger on a train coming from Ashland to Shelbyville. What in the world?
Oh.
Man.
Well, we're definitely. I mean, this has been a great show. I have enjoyed this tremendously.
We're blacklisted.
We're on every no-fly list. Everything.
WXLR calls tomorrow and goes, no.
Yeah.
Unless you're playing Britney Spears where you're not on radio.
Do you guys have anything to say about this in closing?
Absolutely not.
Do you think we should continue investigating this?
I'm going to say no.
Carefully.
Carefully.
I absolutely believe that Cronkite should continue investigating.
Yeah, Cronkite.
That's it. Yeah. Now,
He's done so much work so far.
Yeah, it's all him.
Cronkite enjoys listening. I think that Elliott guy should probably continue his thing. Yeah.
It was Cronkite that called, by the way.
You know, I actually started to leave a voicemail going,
I guarantee
this is
it.
Cronkite.
Hey, Cronkite, I guess I want to know if y'all want to buy some
This goes on
cookies.
Spotify.
Well, you know, guys, we have to keep investigating this. Next week we're going to also.
What's this we? You got a mouse in your pocket?
Brother? You're on the website. You're here to chew bubblegum.
Let me explain something to you. I'm on a podcast. I'm not an investigative journalist.
Oh, yes, you are, my friend.
No, I don't do news anymore.
So you don't think we should? You think we should just leave it alone? We've definitely stumbled.
I would like
across
to know the story, but I'm afraid that we'll die in the process.
No.
A lot of people who said that they wouldn't die in the process died in the process.
Yeah, but you know, I mean,
We're near the cave system. That's all I'm going to say.
we're near the cave system. It will be a couple of weeks before we come back because next week we're going to have the part 2 to the Roundtable with Elliott, Eli, myself, and Cronkite, my good friend and co-host and co-conspirator of the
Who
show.
is involved in this show in no way. Just needs to be here for
Special announcement: it is no longer here to chew bubblegum. It's the Cronkite Show with his friends
Yes.
and everyone else.
Yes, it is. Welcome into the Cronkite Show. Take it away, Cronkite.
I gotta go. This will be our last show.
Oh well.
I'm just gonna lay it out. This is crazy. Like, I wasn't expecting to come into this. This is true. Everything on the table. This is the one thing that, like, I like listening to you all talk about it, but I was like, no. This isn't gonna happen. This can't be real. After today, there's something to this. I don't know exactly what it is, but there's something to it.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with you. And you're lost for words. You don't want to say anything else. You have already incriminated yourself, my friend.
No,
You
I
might
don't
as
even
well
know
go
what
ahead and
else.
talk.
I don't even know what else to say. This is.
I'm the exact same way.
Like,
No.
I'm gonna be shocked if we start watching something about Skinwalker and like a guy pops up and he's like, "Hey, I'm Ingersoll Lockwood. How are you doing? Like, this is my ranch." You know, like,
Let me show you how to rustle up some grub. I got a cattle out here. Just finished mutilating.
it's like I'm going to my summer home in Montauk. You know,
Yeah.
like, it's crazy.
I'm gonna take a train.
But this is our
They're
first
painful.
round table. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. We're going to close out. Do you have anything to say in closing?
Thanks for listening.
And
It's been fun.
It's been fun. Remember us, please.
Elliott.
No, thanks everybody out there. Keep listening. Email us. Let us know what you want to hear. Let us know what you want us to cover.
Now, people go right in. You need to keep pursuing the Ingersoll Lockwood Inc. Are you driving boxes?
Looks like an escape plan. I don't know what's going on.
Plan B. Cronkite, do you have anything to say in closing?
I really don't.
Well, I want to thank our special guest, Elliott, and Elon for joining us in the studio for our first ever Roundtable show. I also want to say special thanks to Carlin for all the voiceover work and for allowing us to use music of Flannery, CK Uncle Bill, and ST3B over at deadpit.com. James, Stacy, Greg, and the rest of the gang at The H Studios. That's The H Studios, spelled TH #3. At Yahoo, T-Shirt Joe from FastCustomShirts.com. Again, that'll do it for this week. We'll see you next week, and until then, so long.
Thanks for listening to Here to Chew Bubblegum. Tune in next time as we dive deeper into things the government doesn't want us to know.